everybody, my name is Mickey Paradise and I'm the Construction Chick. Today we're going to continue our series of talking tools and we're going to talk about stud finders. So for home use, knowing how to find a stud and having a tool that can help you do that is really important. A lot of the things that we hang are weight bearing, they're heavy, and they need to be installed into a stud. So there's a lot of products out there that say can hold a certain amount of weight, and that's great if they can, but it's always better to try to use the studs than to use a product that says it can hold a certain amount of weight. So finding the studs is what's important. To give you a quick overview of the fastest way to find a stud, whatever kind of stud finder you're using, an outlet, be it a down low outlet or a switch, will always be connected or held up by a stud. So if you're trying to find a stud, the easiest place to start is to go to an outlet. You use your stud finder to see whether the stud is on the left or the right of the outlet, and you can use that as a base to find out where your stud starts and then to find out the distance between that stud and the next. So unfortunately, codes in the United States either, started out that they didn't exist, they weren't a thing, and then they became a thing and they have changed over time. So your house could be built where the studs are 12 inches on center, 16 inches on center, or 24 inches on center, or they could just be willy-nilly because when it was built, they didn't have inspectors, people just build homes. So I have a house that we're renovating that was built in 1901, and the studs are not exact. So having a stud finder is really important in taking that next step of, okay, I've located where one stud is, now where are the rest of them? So that is where stud finders come in. There are electronic stud finders. Now, this is not an electronic stud finder, but it looks like an electronic stud finder. This is actually a water meter. But an electronic stud finder will look something like this. It will have like an LCD screen and some buttons, and I have had several in my life and they drive me bananas. I don't know how many times I've used an electronic stud finder to locate a stud, and the stud finder says there's a stud there, and then I pre-drill a hole or I set a screw and there's no stud back there. So much to my amazement and gratitude, I found another product which I think is much better, and it is called the Stud Buddy. So the Stud Buddy comes in a little plastic tube. I got this one at the place where we buy our drywall. I don't know if they sell them at Home Depot or Lowe's, but I know that you could just Google the Stud Buddy, and I don't know if it's showing, but the Stud Buddy being one word, you can find it online. It comes, like I said, in the little tube, and it has this red piece on the bottom, because what this is a high-powered magnet. So if you live in the United States, there's a good chance that what's on your walls is drywall, and drywall is secured to the studs by metal screws. So this high-powered magnet, once you've identified an area where a stud should be, you can use this to identify where these screws or nails, depending on when or how your house was built, in the wall. It is the most fantastic item ever. So once the Stud Buddy will pick up on a screw, it's just, a magnetic pull, so you should be able to let it go and it will stay on the wall. You can measure 12, 16, 24 inches from that to find the next stud. And that's how you go forward with a magnetic stud finder. I really just think probably this is way more affordable. I don't know what electronic stud finders run these days because I haven't purchased one in a really long time, but I'm pretty sure I bought this for $10. Pretty sure you can't find an electronic stud finder for that much. One thing you must know, so as it is a magnet, this red piece is what keeps it from being in your drawer and magnetizing all the screws in your drawer. I let somebody borrow this and they called me once and they were like, oh, it's not working, because they didn't take off the metal piece or the red piece that protects the magnet. So how you'll use it is just like this, and how you'll store it is with this red piece. Seems stupid that someone wouldn't know that, but if you didn't know it comes off, you wouldn't know it comes off. So in continuing our tool talks, a lot of the stuff that we're going to do around the house requires us to know where the studs are. And a stud finder is pretty important no matter what you're doing. So, big fan of the Stud Buddy. I'll try to find a link and put it in the description of the video so that you can find it and find access to it. Think it's the best way to go. If you have an electronic stud finder and you know how to use it and you have had some kind of magical way of making sure you hit the stud with an electronic stud finder every time, use that. More power to you. I'm just not there. So, stud finders, Stud Buddy, the way to go. I'm Mickey Paradise, I'm the construction chick, and we'll see you in the next video.